In this video, we're joined by James and Lisa, a powerhouse couple in property who've built a portfolio of 9 properties in under 1 year, earning up to £10,000 in a single day from Serviced Accommodation.
We've forged really good relationships in this area. To be honest with you, they tend to just offer us stuff.
How many properties do you have right now?
9 SAs in the portfolio and 3 HMOs.
In fact, on Friday, we made 10 grand just by getting a 59-night booking in.
The process is there. It's rinse and repeat. Why try to recreate the wheel?
From taking on full back-to-brick buy, refurbish, refinance projects and working with local councils for social housing, they share it all.
Let's talk about the BRR.
It's currently pretty much a squat. We've got it at 18% below market value because the exit strategy is to convert into 2 dwellings. It gives us sufficient amount of money in it to refurb it and then refinance it, and we're going to get all money out and we're going to get 2 properties at the end of it.
And we're working with a lady at Ealing Council. She needs properties over in like Brighton or just anywhere so that they can rehouse.
So even though we may be working with a London borough and these are based in Brighton, they would always say yes to them.
Discover how they transitioned from 6-figure jobs to 6-figure property entrepreneurs and the lessons learned along the way. Enjoy. Be sure to subscribe for future property success stories.
You made a calculated gamble this year when you quit your £250,000 job.
Yeah, on Christmas Eve I had an epiphany and thought, I'm sick and tired of sitting at a desk. I don't want to do this anymore. And that was it.
We're kind of like that 1% where we take risks, and that's why we're successful.
It's about getting out there, talking to the right people and just farming and not hunting, you know?
My name is Patricia and I'm your host today. And we have with us Lisa Dugard and James Travers. Welcome, both of you.
Thanks, Patricia.
To Success Students. Yay! Literally, we just ran into each other a couple days ago, didn't we?
Literally.
Literally. You almost ran me over, James.
Tell the story.
James nearly ran
James
you
was
over.
driving. Yeah, that was so funny. So we're at the training at the Thistle, and I just went for a little morning walk to get my steps in. And as I'm coming back, this giant van, like right in my peripheral vision, we literally nearly collided.
Absolutely.
And I almost was profane. And then I saw it was this beautiful, adorable couple. So who I absolutely adore. Yeah, it was like
Great to see you.
And you guys were just working on your 4 new rent essays minutes away from the Thistle Hotel. So why don't we start there?
Great.
Tell me all about this deal.
So the 4 brand new essays. It was a post office being converted. We literally got the keys just as the job, like the houses were being finished. There's a few little points that still need to be finished. That's how brand new they are. And yeah, we've already got one set up, had a month's booking in. Yesterday we had another 14 nights booking in for 2 grand. And the other one went live the day we saw you.
Amazing.
So we had we were back there to do the photos and yeah.
And just minutes ago, you got a booking for £1,000?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Easy.
I don't
right?
even know which one property that was. But
How many properties do you have right now?
but,
So there's 9 SAs in the portfolio and 3 HMOs we've got, and they're split between Brighton and around this area as well.
Brighton is so cool. I was just there last Friday.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, what a beautiful place Brighton is,
Definitely,
right? Along the
definitely.
in
coast.
fact,
Absolutely.
on Friday we made 10 grand just by getting a 59-night booking in.
Oh my gosh.
So on one that's been a little bit quiet over the winter months. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so you've been in the academy for a couple of years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
September
2 years in
23 we
September,
joined.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
September
so after a
23.
£1 crash course in London, I dragged this one along too. And then we did the BRR training, and then we just went all in, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And
But-
it starts at the crash course, so there you go.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
All right.
But he literally dragged me.
Literally.
I was like, oh, I thought this is going to be like what? And then yeah, here we go.
So if you haven't already seen their Winners on a Wednesday last year, in number 286, look it up. It's really good. And they tell a beautiful story about how they met at work. It was really cute. You were playing hard to get.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got this supermodel
That's
and
really
like
annoying.
eating out of your hands.
Yeah.
Well done, James.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
He made me laugh.
yes.
He made me laugh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So since your Winners on a Wednesday last year, what have you guys been doing? So you've been picking up loads of these properties, rent to rents all over. How did you get the one from the developer?
The recent 4.
Yeah.
So we've forged really good relationships in this area, and we work very closely with a number of key partners. And I have to be honest with you, they tend to just offer us stuff now, which is quite nice. We
Oh,
don't
what a
have to-
position to be in.
So we've done our farming. Yeah, we farm now. We don't hunt. So
Yeah.
it's great, and we was just had a call and went to see them, and it was no brainer really.
Did the numbers?
Location is spot on. It's on Bath Road, right in between all the hotels.
Right next to the Chinese restaurant.
Right next to London, Hong Kong. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So plenty of free parking.
Yeah, massive parking.
Yeah, so it was a no-brainer. So it's done really well. So we've had that recently, but before that, we changed our strategy onto HMOs, or we started to look at the HMO strategy as well for slightly more passive income.
Why did you do that?
Well, for the more slightly passive income than the serviced accommodation, though, no, I mean, it's never really fully passive, I don't think. There's always things to do. Maybe it's our own fault for not outsourcing everything. We're a bit sort of controlling in that sense, but the HMO strategy is going really, really well. We took on two at the same time, which was quite a challenge. So that's 12 rooms to fill, which we kind of achieved. But I'll at least explain the rest of it. And then we took on two more, one at a time, and we filled them really quickly.
Great.
Forged great relationships with local councils now as well, so they pass us as tenants as well.
Give us tenants.
Yeah, so we have
really
tenants.
good.
So we have houses for professionals. We've got houses for sort of more social housing type thing as well. So, but they're all done to a great spec, all en suite. We learned a valuable lesson in that if you're doing HMOs, en suite's the only way.
Really?
Yeah, we found that.
Interesting.
Unless the rents are low enough that
Right.
that you can make it work, or there's 2 bathrooms and it's maybe like it was a 3-bed and you're turning it into a 4-bed or a 5-bed, but the rents are quite high up here, especially. So we did learn the hard way, didn't we? But the thing is, in Brighton, we took on 2 flats at the same time. So in my head, I was like, well, then we'll take on 2 HMOs at the same time and it will really work. And it was overwhelming because we already had the SA business to deal with, and we were still doing some of the cleaning. We'd been let down by more cleaners, so
That is
we
tough,
were
isn't
doing
it?
we were trying to stage 2 HMOs. We actually did one in 24 hours because we had this booking in.
We
We put it on Airbnb in case we were a bit sort of unsure of the strategy we were going to take, and we got a booking in by a film crew, Sri Lankan film crew.
Film crew in London,
nice.
Yeah.
filming
But
a
we weren't
romantic.
You weren't ready.
No, they're filming a romantic horror film, I believe, which is a strange
Really?
genre. Yeah, but they took it for a month, but we had 24 hours to stage it. We staged a 6-bed HMO pretty much in a 24-hour period.
But they also took our flat that we've got, that was that
Really
sold.
good.
But then we had to stage the other one, and I think your heart wasn't in it, was it? And it was just one of those. It was a learning curve, and I was almost like, right, okay, it has to work because I have to prove a point on this one. And then
Why is that?
Because it was me that said, yes, let's do it. Let's take on another one. We
okay.
can do this. We've done it before. So
And what happened?
we had one tenant in.
He had a lovely time in a 6-bedroom house on his own. And then we basically decided that it wasn't working and we had to give keys back. Let's be honest. Yeah, we gave the keys back to the landlord. It cost us a few pounds to get out of it, but it was the best thing to do. It was dragging the business down. You've got to get rid of, if it's not working, you have to get rid of it.
Yeah.
It was
So,
taking all of
yeah.
our profit from the SA, especially over winter. So
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah. I just gave back a 7-bed, so I feel you, man.
You've got to make the right decision. You don't want to be
have
carrying
to.
a lame duck, you know?
Right. It's
Yeah.
like you have to chop off your arm or else you'll bleed to death, right?
absolutely.
So-
It's something I've had to learn, and it's something I've definitely learned. And I've been like reading some books, and we've been on some other courses and stuff, and was doing some training as well. So it's been really valuable for me to learn, to sort of, not everything is going to work,
Yeah.
but you want it to.
You want it to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Especially we're kind of like that 1% where we take risks.
Yes.
And that's what we've done since we were kids, and that's why we're successful. So
That's
we're going to
it.
make mistakes. Some of the biggest, most successful people have made more mistakes than
Absolutely,
successes, right?
100%.
So
Yeah.
it's okay, girl. Don't worry.
I mean, I've apologized a few times for it, haven't I?
No, you have to forgive her.
Finally, I'll accept it.
Forgive me
Now-
for it.
now it's- now-
Forgive it,
Now
right?
it's a
Now this is
public
going
apology.
viral.
It's in the past.
Yeah,
There you
But I've almost
go.
forgotten about it.
But then we did use a lot of the furniture still. We went in and took the furniture out. So we've still got, so it is what it is, isn't it?
But how much roughly for somebody starting, how much does it cost to like set up a 3-bed SA?
So, well, the great question. I guess you all in with the deposit, your rent up front to stage it. You're probably looking realistically around about 12k. I would
Wow,
say.
really?
I would say so. Yeah.
With deposits and things like that.
Okay.
If you ask him, he's going to come up with a different answer than what
It depends
I
on what you're
would.
appealing to, doesn't it? It depends on
Right.
what quality you're going to do. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to, if it's mainly for trade and work, you're probably not going to go the extra mile with certain things. But I don't think you get, from a staging point of view, I don't think you get much change out of £4,000 for a 3-bed house. If you go the
Well-
conventional route of buying TVs at £300, £400, £500, £600,
Yeah.
etc. So yeah,
A good way to do it though is things like Klarna. You can definitely spread the cost of staging, so it's less overwhelming. It's not
Good
like
debt,
right, I
bad
need
debt.
10 grand right now.
It's going to come back to you, right?
there's no
Turn
wealthy
that
people
into-
in this world who
no.
don't have debt. You know,
Exactly.
so it's got to be just pull the plaster off. They want you to be scared of debt because then they can. Well, I won't
Control
start
us.
because exactly right.
Well, I saw you guys were kind enough to give me a tour.
Yes.
And I saw one of your properties right
Thank
here on
you.
Bath Street, and I was so impressed with how lovely it was. Like the decor, the colors, the pictures, right down to the small little details. You guys do such a great job.
Thank
you.
Do you enjoy? I feel like you keep saying thank you, but you already told me that it's all Lisa. Is it? No?
Yeah.
The furniture is probably you. Putting it all together.
We have this thing, right?
staging.
We have this thing. Right? I don't know whether this. I'm not, and I don't do it intentionally, but if I want something done, I would generally sort of start the task or throw the idea out, and then generally speaking, Lisa will just grab it and run with it.
Amazing.
So if I say
That's a good
something
team.
like, so, I really think like gold sofas in this room. She'll go, yeah, gold, and then all of a sudden everything will work around that. She'll just.
Oh, I love
So
it.
if I sort of say one thing, then Lisa will build the concept and the idea.
That's so good.
But equally, definitely, the creative side is
Each house kind of has like a theme that it will either be I find a picture that I really like and I'll go, right, that's going to work in that house.
Yeah.
And then I'll
Mm.
build the whole thing around it. It's kind of what I learned from my hairdressing days. So you'd have to build like a board and then you'd work from the inside out and
Yeah.
you'd kind of step back, right, no, that's not working. And so for me, that is really natural. I absolutely love it. That's my
It's fun,
creative,
isn't it?
Yeah, that's my
It is
creative
fun.
side going nuts.
From what I have.
But I'm like it at home. We like
You
it
are,
at home.
yeah.
We even if we have a slight day off, which is maybe like a few hours in an afternoon, we'll be cleaning the house and doing up, like making sure the house is perfect as well. We are just generally like that.
Active.
aren't we?
OCD.
I
OCD.
remember I would just call you guys to check in, and you're always doing something new.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
One time it was the electrics had gone out in one of your properties.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
you were like, oh, sorry, Patricia, can't talk. Electrics are out. We got an emergency. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, talk to you next month.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess
Oh,
the
was
whole
that in the
idea.
studio?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a studio. I mean, we've outsourced Brighton pretty much now. I have to pick up to Camden actually. We work in Camden's a great guy, and we were let down by our cleaners, and he's allowed us to use his.
Oh.
He's brilliant. I won't lie to you.
Camden,
So we
Sailor
are-
Estates.
Yeah, and
Shout out.
Yeah,
That's my
definitely.
He's wonderful.
And so we're pretty hands off now with Brighton, and it's worked well because we were up here all the time staging the 4 new ones, and also there's more properties up here now than there is in Brighton. So we're focusing up here,
Mm-hmm.
but ultimately the goal is to get that outsourced as much as possible. But I'm quite hands on, and I'm practical, so I kind of don't mind fixing problems.
Yeah,
with
we had a
electrics.
tenant without electrics the other day, and you were like, I'm not going home until, and we didn't have the code to get in from the landlord to get into the cupboard to get the electrics. So James was like, I'm not leaving until I've sorted it.
I have
He's got no
magic key,
electrics. So
Screwdriver,
so
pries the door open.
didn't break
fixed.
anything. And
So-
if we did,
Solution.
then it comes back on us anyway. But
Yeah.
this tenant had no hot water. He had
No,
no hot water
no,
as well,
no,
didn't
no,
he?
no
Yeah,
power
no
at
power,
all,
and then he had
so-
no hot water. And he was, he's such a lovely tenant. I mean, they all are, but we've got like a few that are my favourite.
We have set ourselves a milestone. Once these 4 are done and the BRR, which we haven't spoken about yet, once that's then kind of completed on, we're going to set ourselves a mission of actually having a holiday. Yeah,
Let's talk about the BRR,
let's
and then
do
we'll talk about the
BRR.
holiday.
Well, we haven't
Yeah.
had it, so not to say about the holiday yet, other than we're going to do it. So,
Okay.
So we can talk about BRR if you like. Yeah, why not?
Okay. Where is it?
Brighton.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many bedrooms?
Currently, I mean, there's 6 areas to sleep in. If you want to call them bedrooms or not, I don't know.
We'll call them bedrooms.
Yeah, okay. So
Great.
6 bedrooms. It's currently pretty much a squat.
A squat. What
Yeah.
does that mean? Like
Like-
derelict?
Not
Or
derelict, it's being used by.
Oh, it's being used by squatters.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
like there are people living there, but
let
it's
me
like
confirm, there's
it's a bit
people
like how are they living there?
Oh,
It looks like
no.
a squat.
Yeah.
The landlord is an old school landlord. He's got quite a few properties in the area, and he's not bothered about the living condition of his tenants, and they're probably not bothered either. So we've bought this property that has got huge potential.
Yeah.
Based on the fact it is almost unlivable, we've got it at a great price.
Great.
Truly, I would say quote myself on figures here, it's probably about 18% below market value. So not quite the magic 25. However, with the GDV being so high, because the exit strategy is to convert into 2 dwellings, it gives us sufficient amount of money in it to refurb it and then refinance it. And we're going to get all money out and we're going to get 2 properties at the end of it.
And whose money?
So we've JV'd with a great contact of ours. He's the guy we work with up here as well. So he's looking to build his portfolio on the South Coast.
Yeah.
So he's helping us with some of the money. We're also going to be probably leveraging our SAS pension as part of the development costs, so we can lend that money to another company for development, which is what we're going to do. And then those 2 properties. So it's a joint venture, as I say. I'm managing it. We're managing it. You'll probably be doing the front finishing touches, which is your bit. And then I say, hopefully 4 to 6 months we are planning as a build period. Then we refinance it. I say all money out, and then we'll probably rent those properties out either to social or to the councils for living there.
Yeah.
Or
although the
SAs.
rents are quite good there, and it's, as we've heard from Tony, that it's a very up and coming area.
Yes, Mr. Tony Crook.
And when we said the area to him, he sort of ears pricked up.
I think we all recognise that part used to be student town of Brighton. So over the next 5-10 years, it's going to obviously, because students have been moved out into better accommodation, other accommodation. And
they're moving onto campus, aren't they? So then they'll be using all the
Great. So when you're refurbing a property like this, and you're like maybe social housing, maybe SA, isn't that finish really different?
Yes, it is. I think we haven't quite decided where we want to go with it yet. I think just being in the position we've got ourselves into, with pretty much putting no money down with an exit strategy of 2 properties, is like, wow, I didn't think this was going to happen. You walk around the academy and people who sort of, we do BRRs all the time. You think, well, how, when, and it's just happened with a bit of hard work. Not too much hard work, I hasten to add, but a sufficient amount of effort, of calling up the agents and getting in there. And now we're in a position where they sort of just going to throw us deals. We've got 2 more coming through in similar kind of situation that needs investment in. Wow. So it's about getting out there, talking to the right people, and just farming. Like I said it before, but farming and not hunting. So
yeah, Farmer James. So this property, the BRR, was listed on Rightmove.
Yes.
And you found it.
Yes.
And nobody else was interested in it.
No.
Why do you think that it's easier for property investors to pick up BRRs than newly beautiful, houses where people are paying top dollar?
I guess if they're a problem property, then most people don't want to get involved. This is full back to brick restoration. It's full rewire, full plumbing. So I think if you know what you're looking for, you can find it. Equally, finding the right vendor who's motivated helps as well. So I know that the guy who's trying to sell is motivated.
Yeah.
But it's there. But
asking the right questions. You asked all the right questions. Like for me, listening to him do it, that's his forte.
Is he a good negotiator?
Yeah.
What's your go-to negotiation 100%. Line?
I think just being able to walk away. Putting an offer in and just I put an offer in and that's it. I'm walking away.
Yeah.
So I say there are 2 more that are sat on the table and they keep asking me to increase the offer. No.
But no one else is putting an offer on, so he's playing hardball with it. Yeah. Whereas I'd be a bit more like, I'll just add a little bit more.
You keep saying, I know you've got proof of funds, we've got all that. We keep telling the vendor, you should take it up, and I do a job lot by both at the same time. I'm not moving. So I think it's not being afraid to walk away. And I think to be able to do that, you've got to have sufficient opportunities in your pipeline.
100%.
Yeah.
That's what Samuel says, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, load up your pipeline and just be able to walk away. Put in cheeky little offers. And if they say yes, great. If they say no, it doesn't matter because there's so much opportunity that you're already farming.
Great. It's funny how things work, especially within the academy, because we, on one of the events here, we met one guy and it's his cousin who's doing the build. So he came round and had a look through with us and everything. Yeah. So it's amazing,
Power of network.
Yeah, the people that you meet. And then actually this guy's then like, oh, hold on, I've seen what you guys are doing with my cousin, with the builder, and let me know when your next one is and we'll get, so, I'm pulling money out of here and we're going to, so you just, how it all works together. And then,
I think
brilliant.
I think the key thing for us, and the key thing for me, is not only obviously having lucky enough to spend some great time with Samuel and Russell. They're both fantastic people, but we've also taken the opportunity to grow our accessibility to other mentors as well. So I kind of like being the sort of dumbest person in the room now.
Yes.
Whereas before I used to like being the most intelligent. Whereas now if I'm the dumbest, I can ask the questions. And everything that I'm picking up from people who are successful is the process is there. It's rinse and repeat. Why try to recreate the wheel?
Yeah.
You say, as I said to you about, put a cheeky offer in, or Samuel said that, absolutely. What the Academy offers people who are prepared to join it gives you a opportunity to rinse and repeat a successful process.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
in your own way.
In your own, of course.
In your own journey. It's key. When people said to us quite a few times on the dinners, like, oh, what should I do next? What should I do next? And I'm like, it's got to be up to you. Like, what worked for us may not work for you.
Yeah.
And the different questions, it's like whatever you've got, go with it. If it's in your gut, go. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And it's that initial jumping off that cliff.
Right.
But I think people love the fact that we've both quit our jobs and we've got we rent our house. We pay for our house through we pay the rent through our company. Yeah, through the business. So,
right.
But we've got kids. James's kids, but they're my responsibility as well. We've got 2 dogs. We've got, my family and everything. So yes, it is a lot of pressure. We've had a few moments where we've.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. So when have you felt that it's like, oh, this is too much, this is too hard, it's
November
not going to work?
Last year.
Oh, the
Yeah,
date.
I do. Yeah, I know. No, maybe not exactly
November
the date.
last year.
Yeah. But,
November 2024?
Yeah, it was
What
because
happened?
it was just like not getting renewal. And so I think for me, I was trying to then take on more responsibility, to take it away from him. Sorry, I was getting emotional. I don't know why. Okay. But I was almost like, stop it. But I was almost like, right, okay, I can't let him see that I'm stressed out. And I can't let the kids see that I'm stressed out, or anyone else see
what do you
that I
do,
was.
Lisa,
I
if you
literally
can't
was
tell
just
your partner or the
no,
kids?
it was more a case of like I want to take on all the responsibility and make it all work. And then we had the other HMO that wasn't necessarily working, so we were just working flat out, weren't we? And then I just took a step back and was like, right, okay, I need to bring some money in from here. I need to borrow some money from there, pay off that there, and we just refocused, really, wasn't it?
Yes.
And it worked. So
Well, yeah.
And this year you're celebrating your 10-year anniversary.
yeah.
10 years together.
10 years
That's right,
together.
absolutely, yeah.
How nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we haven't got time to get married though, so
No,
Sorry?
everyone
we don't
keeps
have
saying-
time to
No.
arrange a wedding.
My mum on
I
Sunday,
keep trying to
she-
encourage Lisa to arrange it. She just says, I've got time. So it's
I can't. Every time I look, I'm just like, oh, there's so much more else to do, like with the property stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure I even have the bride gene, to be fair. But
Yeah.
and we've got a lot of factors to do. I don't think I have it. I look at it.
It's
I'm
just
like,
elope, but do that vacation and just get married.
we would love to do that, but I don't think my mum would forgive us. So.
would give you. No.
But yeah, we've thought about going away. But what's lovely is that my nan, who's she'll be 97 this month.
Wow.
If we can get her to
Yeah.
come, she did say on Mother's Day, didn't she? She'd like to give me away, but she wouldn't want to give me away to anyone. So that was very sweet. So ideally, we'd like my nan there.
Yes.
So it's there's so many factors, and we're just so busy with the property. It's like
Right. And
too
you need
busy
to focus,
plan the wedding.
Yeah.
get the hard work done now.
Yeah, right.
You can all chill out later, right?
100%.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the goal.
So without sounding really soppy, but I just want to get married to him. So it's not about the big wedding.
Lucky girl.
But the boy would like to be 16. He's 16 in December. So
Okay.
and he's giving me away.
So like all weddings, we're working around everybody else.
Yes.
We
We're not doing it
literally
for
are.
ourselves.
And my
Yeah.
mum doesn't want us to get married in the winter because she doesn't want to wear a coat.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
yeah,
all
but-
these
yeah.
factors.
You just sit there and we're both like, should we just go? Should we just go to Vegas or something?
Right.
That would be cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the only person who's never been to Vegas in the world.
I've never been.
Okay, so
I haven't
you and I.
either.
There you go.
No.
Okay,
No.
so we're the 3
Done New
people in the
York.
world
No.
who've never been to Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a
No,
big
never
gambler.
been.
No?
Well, no.
No.
Not in that sense.
No.
I like to make calculated gamble.
Well, you made a calculated gamble earlier this year when you quit your
I did.
£250,000 job.
Yes. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Tell us about that. How hard was that?
It wasn't that hard actually. It was on Christmas Eve. I had an epiphany. I thought, I'm sick and tired of sitting at a desk. I don't want to do this anymore. And that was it. I decided that was it. And
Did you flip the desk and walk
No,
out?
I didn't. 'Cause I was in the kitchen. I was just because I spent the last 5 years working from home since COVID, and I've just got more and more disenchanted with what I do. And
Why don't you tell everybody what you did? Because it sounds pretty serious.
So I used to be a program manager for central government. So I've worked across a number of government departments, from crime to everything really, Home Office, Cabinet Office, so technology mainly. Just recently did a artificial intelligence program for one of the government departments. So, but
Really?
yeah. So and I've always done that, and I've always earned six figures, and I thought I was untouchable. Believe it or not, I'm 51 now, and I realise I'm not. And actually, trading time for money is not the way to go. So I wish I'd learnt I wish I knew what I know now, say 15, 20 years ago. It's my only lesson learned in life. But yeah, I've quit now. I've got no remorse.
Tell him what Harry said.
My son said that I looked happier than ever before, which is quite pleasant.
Oh,
Yeah, we were just in the
That's
kitchen. We just got like
sweet.
kitchen diner, and he was just like, "Dad, you look so happy."
I get
And
to
I know,
walk dogs
I
in the
agree.
morning.
And
I
he's
guess,
been, he has been happier. He's been sleeping
been
better.
Oh.
Everything, haven't you? You have been
There are,
so much happier.
but with that comes other pressures. But you know what? It doesn't
And we get
matter
to work every
because-
day together.
Because you know what? It's just what we can influence how we manage those pressures. We're in charge now.
Yeah.
Even though I was self-employed, I was still waiting for someone to say yes or no to me working there. Whereas now it's, if I get out of bed in the morning, it's me who has to drive me to do what I want to do. So now I'm in charge of my own destiny, and that's the best way to be. So no regrets whatsoever, and it's a really, really easy decision. So yeah.
That's nice. And what a great role model you are for the kids, right? For them to see the hard work, the dedication, the sacrifice, and the happiness.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
Oh
Well,
my gosh,
actually,
how miserable
he's
are people,
got,
right?
But actually, the boy's been listening to Samuel Eads on
Great.
podcast, because I was like,
Bring them to a crash course.
he's supposed to be revising. So I was like, why are you not revising? Why are you? I thought he was on PlayStation. He was like, no, I'm listening to a podcast. And I was like, what podcast? He was like, Samuel Eads. And I was like,
We tried to get him to the dinner last month, but due to the unprecedented popularity, there was no space for him. So,
but yeah, he wants to
He's
wait
keen.
until his exams are over.
Yeah.
And then he wants to use any savings he has to buy his first essay and let us help him run it. And see, he's on it. He's already like, if I do this and I put this money in there and that money in there.
What's
and
his name?
Harry.
Oh, wait, right, Harry. So what is going to happen? Like, what is your legacy? What are you going to leave behind?
nothing.
Nothing? You're taking it all with you?
I'll be the most wealthiest corpse. Are you referring to my children? I'm sure they'd be well catered for. I don't know. It really depends if they deserve it. I mean, Harry, he's definitely shown the right signs about wanting to be involved and wanting to do his own.
Yeah.
So,
And
I mean,
he helps us
ideally,
actually
legacy
quite a
would be
lot
the
as well, doesn't he?
generational wealth, right? And I guess I mentioned it about the SAS pension earlier on, but again, that's something that we're really keen to do and try to create some sort of generational wealth for the guys. So, but they, I don't, I'm not going to give it to them. They have to show some.
Have you?
To show some metal, really.
Yes. Are you in charity work? Do you volunteer? Do you do anything like that?
Not yet, but it's definitely been on our mind. Certainly, because we do quite a lot of work with the council now around helping people out who need somewhere to live. So we do, and we're trying to forge relationships with some of the housing associations as well. So there is, I guess for me now having a bit more time, it's definitely a possibility. I'm quite interested in going out to Africa this year with the academy, ideally.
Right.
But
Uganda?
yeah,
Nice.
It's not quite the same, but since we've been doing this, I often just go and spend, like, even if it's like £30, even though I'm not really earning per se. Like, I don't really pay myself exactly. It's just sort of, we're just running with it. But it's almost like I've felt so grateful from where we are now. That I often go and get some bits and put it into a food bank, and whatever we're not using at home, like if we've got extra like porridge oats in there, it's silly little things, but I'm very conscious of that. And like the other day, one of our tenants, I wanted to go and buy him some bits and pieces. He didn't have a huge amount of furniture, and did he?
No.
And stuff. So it's there that we'd like to do a bit more work with like rehousing ex-prisoners
Wow.
and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to get
How
more.
would you do that?
Have absolutely no idea. But in terms of like unit wise, we would find. So I've just been passed 9 units in Brighton that would work really well for either the council or emergency accommodation and things like that. So it's definitely...
You've just been past 9 units?
Yeah. So
like, is that on top of the properties you earlier told us about?
Yeah. So I'm just
and did you forget about the 9 that you just... I love it.
Because I'm just in the process of just working out all the figures, because it's such a tight margin between the LHA rates that, you know, tenants are given, whether it's emergency housing,
right,
et cetera, et cetera. So I'm also just making sure that I'm 100% on the knowledge of it all as well.
So for anybody listening who have never heard what an LHA rate, how would you
local
explain
housing
that?
allowance.
So yeah, when we're working with a lady at Ealing Council, and then she's also she needs properties over in like Brighton or just anywhere so that they can rehouse people. So just at the moment, the margins are so tight on it. So I need the landlords or the owners of all these 9 units to drop as much as possible. I have got them to.
Yeah.
But you're like itching, aren't you, to say something?
That's what I was going to say. The key thing is around location when it comes to helping the council out with these sorts of properties. So even though we may be working with a London borough and these are based in Brighton, they would always say yes to them on the basis that they are, you know, relatively central. So they're, you know, good location for shops, amenities and transport. So I guess if anyone's looking to get into that area, it's around trying to find the right property and then put the proposition to the council, and they generally say yes because there's such a demand. So, but there you go. Yeah.
And a lot of these are ex-council units anyway. And maybe I'm showing a little bit of like, so like my nan bought her council home in the late 80s. And that, you know, from that we were able to then, you know, live a bit better and stuff. So, and although I don't necessarily think it was a great idea to maybe for everybody to be able to buy their own council properties, because then lots of people then bought council properties, didn't they? And then skyrocket and high rents and everything. So I think for me, that is a real interest as well to get more into the social housing side of it. And we have just sort of fallen into it really, haven't we?
Yeah, through tenants, through our HMOs, who then put us in contact with the council, and then we just forged the relationship. And now again, we get the council calling us every day saying, have you got a room? Do you have any rooms available? So,
and they're all great tenants.
Yeah.
We have had one that's gone missing, but other than that, and James had to check to see if we were worried that we'd heard from a friend that he wasn't, you know, feeling great with himself and that. So, and they asked if we could check to see if he was in the room, see if he'd died or something. So James had to go and check.
What happened?
I don't know. We still don't know where he is, but we have a funny feeling that he may have been recalled, shall we say. So I would believe he went to see his parole officer and hasn't been seen since. So again, look, you know, we have, I say, mixed houses. So we have houses for professionals, we have houses for, you know, for other people who just need help, you know, and, you know, we're not, everyone's needs help every now and again.
Yep.
And I won't lie to you, they're great people and they're good
amazing.
players. There's this guy, unfortunately, I don't know, some problem with his family. So maybe I've got slight sort of, I feel like we're almost responsible for him, having been through quite a tough divorce previously and the rest of it. So I don't know, but we can't find him. That's it really. But it does leave us in a slight predicament now, is that we've got a room that we can't rent out. We have an obligation to look after his stuff for a period of time, but we can't expect him to pay it, or we shouldn't expect to, because he's not going to pay it. So we've got a room that we can't really sell at the moment. So, you know, the good times and bad times, it happens, but just got to be, you know, savvy enough to go and find another strategy that's going to cover that for the time being, or go and get some more houses, which we're going to be doing this afternoon, in fact. So
are you?
Yeah, we're going to look at another couple of HMOs this afternoon. So again, the council keeps asking us for rooms, so we can go and find the properties.
Yeah.
And we don't pay you. So we get the people in, then work with the landlord to sort out the payments.
Yeah, no rent, no deposit. So we just get them in there and then get the ball rolling.
That's amazing. I wish I could like buy stock in you guys or something, you know? I can just sit back and just like let you guys work your buns off, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what our plans to be, is to get everyone else to do it for us.
I don't think we would though. You say that, but we wouldn't.
You'd have to get the right people.
We don't. We wouldn't,
No?
would we? You can't relax. But you're my little jumping beam. You can't relax. But he can't. Do you know what I mean?
I end up walking at home. If I've got nothing to do, I end up walking in circles around the house. I just like, what am I going to do? And I just end up walking from the kitchen to the lounge. I just walk in circles.
I do too, but I do it to get my steps in, not to.
Oh, I just do because I'm bored. I need something to do. So then I'll go into the garage and I'll look at what can I do. I've something to do. I'll go outside. I need something to do. I'll go on Rightmove.
Yeah.
I'll look at financial properties, and that's generally what my day is. My life is that, really.
It sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
better than being sat
you
at a
know.
desk for like 12, 13 hours a day.
It's never a dull day.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like Friday, we were just looking for this tenant for like until Friday evening, and Harry just said, "You're right, you can have dinner yet?" And I was like, "Mate, I don't even know what the time is." It was at 9:30, and I'm like still trying to look for this tenant and getting phone calls from guests and tenants, and
Yeah.
but I just had a glass of prosecco in my hand, and that was it's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what kind of advice would you give somebody kind of starting off and with no experience in property?
Education.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And just being, do you know, like there's so much out there that's cynical. Don't be too cynical, you know, like be cynical of some things,
yeah.
you know, like there are a lot of cons and there are a lot of people that are going to screw you over in this life. But if someone's giving you like pure education, good advice, and it's like direct advice, take it. If someone's kind of being all like extra nice, then be a little bit more. That would be my advice. Because
Right.
so many people are like, oh, but this is a con, but it's like, but you're here. So what do you want to be? Do you know what I mean? Don't sit on the fence with it. If you're going to do something like this, just go for it.
What kind of advice would you give, James?
I think nothing in life is free and nothing comes easy. So you have to put the effort in. But once you have the education, you then got to apply it. I come across people who I think expect this journey to be quite a simple, easy one. But in fact, there is a fair amount of effort required from you because you can be told to do something, but you've got to need or want to do it yourself. So I think if without the effort, determination, then you're going to fail. You can have all the education in the world, but you've got to be able to pull your socks up and get on with it yourself. Don't expect people to do it for you, and don't necessarily depend on others equally. You need to be able to do it yourself. You need to go through the process yourself to learn, and then you can then correct it and you can make it better if you need to. But you have to go through the journey yourself.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think you've got to put the effort in ultimately.
A bit like if you were getting a trainer for the gym, right? You wouldn't just expect them to do it for you and then you'd
Right.
lose all the weight and gain all the muscle or
Yeah,
whatever.
you have to
You'd
do the work.
yeah.
Go do the work.
But
You have to show up. That's the hard part.
That's it, yeah. And
Yeah.
do you know what? And it is really hard. And there are some days where, you know, you and I, luckily we take it in turns if we're not ready to show up for the day. And we're sort of
I always turn up.
Yep. You're
Yeah,
always there.
Always.
You
gonna,
too.
I'm just gonna give you one of them, like you wait until later looks. But no, there's been times where you know one of us has been like really, really tired because we do work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
We don't have a break. We haven't had a holiday since 2019.
You say work.
But it's not work, is it? Yeah, we love it.
Right?
Yeah,
and
we
that's
do.
the beauty
Yeah,
of it.
Yeah, we love it.
That you get to do
Absolutely love it.
something that you love and it covers your lifestyle in
Yeah.
a
Definitely.
lucrative way with future opportunities.
Yeah,
it's fun.
absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
exciting.
You get to meet great people. You get to see some things that you wouldn't necessarily see if you're isolated behind a desk for 5 years, for example.
Right.
So I think the only other thing I would give as advice is I learned this. I learned it ages ago, I suppose, but it's about not working in the business. Got to work on the business. And
That's hard.
It is really hard. I mean, look, we work in the business every day. We do all the staging ourselves. Only recently did we outsource Brighton. We've tried to and failed due to really poor staff. We're confident, though, during the summer we're going to have a great time. The cleaner we've got now and the team down there are phenomenal. So we're happy that that's going to be kind of
And here
truly
as well.
passive. But I think it's very, very easy to fall into the trap of just working in the business. And before you know it, you're not actually working on it. And if you're not working on it, you're not growing, you're not scaling, you're not expanding, and you will become very stifled. The competition will get better around you, and all of a sudden you go, "Why am I not succeeding?" It's because you're just so blinkered, in the business, and that's not good for anyone. So you've got to be able to work on it, not in it.
Yeah.
But to do that, you've got to have good people around you. So,
And to grow at the right speed as well. Don't run before you can walk.
Oh, yeah.
That's always been.
That's a good
always
lesson,
been my
right?
trouble.
Yeah.
Run out here. Oh, drop. But again, that's how you learn as well, isn't it? But,
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we work so well together because, you're kind of. I will sort of show you one way that will right. That's really going to work, and it works. And then another way, James will go right. We just need to slow this down, or we need to work at this pace. And I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. And that's been what's worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, what does a mature person who has a great job but's not happy or feeling fulfilled, like, what could you say?
Best
can't get your
time.
time. I mean,
So much
again,
fun.
why would you sell your time for money? You know, we sat here a moment ago. We've had a booking in which was nearly double my day rate when I was working in corporate. You know, so and we've got 9 properties, so all of a sudden that's just scales.
Yeah.
So you've got to be brave. You've got to take the risk, but if you're at that age, you're probably in a better position perhaps than someone at 23. You might have some capital to invest, just invest it wisely.
Yeah, you've got your life experience.
Yeah, exactly that. You have a slightly wider network with people.
What's the point in having loads of savings?
Oh, well, actually, I've got some people I used to work with. They contact me every week. How's it going? What are you up to? And I know exactly where they're heading with it. Because they've also sort of a similar age to me. They're probably quite tired of what they're doing. They've looked over the fence to see what I'm doing, and they are ripe for investment. I know in the next 6 to 12 months, I'm going to be able to probably put in investors from my old life.
Yeah.
Because they've seen what we're up to, and they're going to go, I want a piece of that.
Yeah.
And that's it. Proof's in the pudding. You know, if you can stand behind what you've done, and people are going to listen. And I think that's something I've learned. So.
From your first 12 months in the academy, what would you have done differently?
Started sooner.
See, he says this. I'm going to disagree with him slightly because we did our winners on I said I'd love to do a winners on a Wednesday by a year, and we did it in 10 months. So that's not starting slow, is it? I don't think.
Right. But James feels that he could have gone faster.
Yeah.
I was probably the one slowing us down, actually. Because I was still in corporate, I was thinking if I can accumulate a little bit more capital, it's going to help us out, etc. So, but I think that there's never a good or bad time. You have to pull the plaster off. In fact, we were in Edinburgh. That's what we're going to say. For my 50th, and we bought our first deal, and it just went mad from there, basically. So from September to January we were sort of getting up to speed. We were sort of coming to some of the networks and not all of them. But I think we weren't that active, we weren't that visible. And I think that's really important in the academy as well, is being active and being visible and meeting people, because you don't know who you're talking to. There's a lot of great guys in the academies. There's a lot of new guys as well, and there's a lot of deal source, but that's great. There's also a lot of other people who've been around for a long time, and so I think that for me, taking action sooner would have maybe accelerated a bit more, but I have no regrets. I have no regrets. What we did was at the right time for us. You know, we were just getting into gear. Just literally, we were in the process of moving house, and I used to spend 4 hours a day in the car for school run.
Wow.
Whilst doing a corporate job.
3 hours.
So I didn't really have time to do anything other than that.
Oh my gosh.
So we had to move before I could then get my time back to then focus on the business.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
So see what I mean? How much pressure? He was saying he wasn't moving fast enough. He was doing all of that. When I'd help occasionally, but I was obviously working as well, and the dogs, and I had to be in Essex every couple of weeks to see my nan and my mum, make sure everything's okay there. And actually, we did up my nan's flat, didn't we? That was kind of our first little property. It wasn't profitable for us, but it's to keep something in the family home family that's not going towards loads and loads of care bills, sort of thing.
Right.
So that was kind of, and I think what made us go, do you know what? My nan's worked for all of her life since she was 14 years old. And now, for what? Do you know what I mean? Like, really, that moment for me was massive. It was like, all in now, just go for it. What's the point in?
All in.
Yeah.
All in.
What's the point? She was making 100%. Sure that we were all okay, and that, she had like something for a future, like a house. No, we were just like, no, times have changed.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Lisa and James. That was so much fun. And if you want to come down to a crash course, you have to come down and check it out. It's £1. They're located all over. And you get to meet Samuel, get a selfie with him, meet loads of people, learn a little bit about property, have fun. And it all happens there. And if you enjoyed hanging out with us, then please do like, subscribe, comment, all of that fun stuff. And we will see you next time. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Patricia.
Thanks.